Hi, I am CoffeeDev and I am a beginner game developer. I want to tell you about my first project, Night Shifts at NSACC, and the story of its creation. More than half a year has passed since the beginning of development and I have something to tell. And before I begin my story, I want to wish you bon appetit. If you eat, and I begin. Work on the project began in the fall of 2024. But due to lack of experience and basic understanding of Unity, nothing worked out. I don't even have footage from those times, and I went to a beginner-s course on Unity today. And in the spring of the same year, I started developing the game again. The 25th of May, I create my TG channel and post a trailer for the first version there. And on the 1st of June, the presentation of the project took place. It was the graduation of my TD course and a couple of months before I started making the first version. Honestly, it came out buggy and boring, and I wouldn't say anything about the graphics, but everyone started somewhere. But the views in TG were not bad, namely about 50 people. From that time, I have a video left that you're seeing now. After the release of the first version of the project, realizing that this project is absolutely terrible in the bad sense of the word, I started working on improving the quality. And here I should make a reservation and tell you why I chose a FNAF parody for my first project. Everything is simple here. Relatively clear mechanics, guides on YouTube, and a decade of FNAF, which I have been fond of since childhood. We can say that this project is a tribute to Scott Cawthon and his brainchild. But let us get back to the topic. I have saved some recordings from that version. They will be played in the background. In the first recording, you can see one of the versions of the buildings, but without animatronics and lighting. In the second, you can see the gameplay of that version. By the way, the models in this and the previous versions were taken from Sketchfab, but this was only a temporary solution, and the development was slowly but surely going. And then my Windows crashed. The 29th of June, on this day, my laptop gave a blue screen. I was afraid that the project was gone, but I hoped that it would be intact. And when my laptop came back to me, the project was intact. Development went on, and I started trying to animate the models myself. Now you can see a video from the development. In some, I tried to animate the animatronics myself, and in the rest, I worked on a new location. But then I got distracted by a test project. There is no video from it. And when I returned to the game, I began to try to implement walking between nights before the release. True, this idea remained an idea, because it was not included in the game. But there is a video with an attempt to implement it. And then, Unity damaged the input script, because of which the entire project would have to be started over. The script is responsible for accepting clicks and is built into Unity from the beginning. Therefore, the project was frozen indefinitely. The 5th of September. After that event, I started working on another project similar to FNAF. But now the location is not a pizzeria. We can move and do not guard anything, but survive. There would be no nights. Instead, there would be segments divided by an hour each and a completely different plot. So I wrote in the TG channel. Now in the background there will be videos from the development of that game. But it did not last long, and soon I decided to return to the original concept, and that project was forgotten. Work on it ended on the 19th of September. The 20th of December. I resumed work on the project. I returned to the pizzeria again. Started trying to model in Blender and created the first version of my model. Here is the video. After that, Unity broke again, but I made another model. The project died again, but not for long, and so on the 1st of January, 2025, I downloaded an older version of Unity. Then I chose my D&D model as a base for the next ones, and the blue cat blueberry was forgotten. After that, for a long time I did not post screenshots or videos, only wrote reports on the work done. But I bought a flash drive for a backup copy of the project. The 10th of January. I am posting a video with a new location and a model of the dog I used. His name was Rust. After that, I modeled a second model for the cat Gray, and a little later, a third one for the Rabbit Knox, and then I made Shadow and Endo. Then I started working on cutscenes between nights. They became analogs of mini-games. And here is a video of the first full-fledged gameplay before the introduction of Endo and Shadow. Then I slightly changed the location of the UE elements and made custom night. On 3rd of February, I released version 1.0.0. The 6th of February, I continued to study Blender. Now you will see screenshots of models that were not included in the game for technical reasons. The 12th of March, I put a new dog model to test, but it turned out to be extremely unoptimized, and then I created the main cat model, which you can see in the project. Then I tried to make a separate model for the dog, but unfortunately, I could not make it as good as the cat, so I left only the cat, but made hats. This is how the main trio of Gray the cat, Blaze the tiger and Frost the snow leopard appeared, and at that moment the name of the game changed to Night Shift Acid Cat Escafe. 25th of March. And here comes NSACC 1.0, a version in which I replaced the animatronic models. The 27th of March, I started working on the latest update for NSACC. I chose the loft style for the building, the 2nd of April. On this day, I showed the first version of the new gameplay. Then I started reworking cutscenes and other things. The 22nd of April, I started testing the new version in TG, and there were a lot of edits. And then I released a trailer for the game, which you can watch on my channel. And finally, the 4th of May, version 2.0.0 was released on GameJolt along with the game trailer. Then I released version 2.0. one with minor fixes. And here we are. This is the end of the story of this project. The goal was to learn the basics of Unity and I achieved it. It was quite time-consuming and sometimes difficult, and yet I finished it. However, I did not mention one person who helped me a lot. This is one of the subscribers of my TG channel under the nickname Hedgehog in Glasses. He wrote some sounds for the game and helped me with ideas. I think without him the project would not have come out. I also want to thank you for watching this video. Can I ask you to play the game if you like the videos? The link to the Game Jolt page will be in the comments. Thanks for watching and see you later, and I will go look for ideas for the next project.